Welcome, welcome. Hopefully, everyone's having a great day wherever you're joining us across the US and Canada. And today, we're excited to get back in the webinar hot seat. So we have the power of Instagram for B2C and B2B business development, how ROMEX took North America by storm. So we must say a big thank you to everyone who's registered for this. We had 132 this morning and maybe some more trickle in. It's definitely been our most popular webinar to date. It is our 6th webinar in the Landscape of Marketing webinar series. And today I'm happy to announce not just me, but 2 other hosts from North Shore Digital. So you have myself, Andy, the CEO, and the founder of both companies, so North Shore Digital and Landscape of Marketing. We also have another co-founder. We have Ira, our director of product. Give us a shout out, Ira.
Howdy, everybody. Good morning.
And we have Sasha, our director of accounts.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Okay. We're currently based in beautiful BC, and we hope you're having a happy hump day wherever you are. It is the 11th of June, so let's commence. Okay, and firstly, our special guests and their introductions. So I want to give you a little bit of context here about ROMEX North America. I'm sure many of our landscaping guests will have heard of ROMEX and hopefully have used ROMEX and been, impressed by their products. And anyway, here is some information about ROMEX. ROMEX produces top-of-the-line, professionally engineered permeable jointing, bedding, and gravel binding products. They offer consultation and training services to ensure your project goals become a reality. Their projects span all of Canada and the US, and their typical applications for things like pool decks, patios, paths, driveways, tree surrounds, public spaces, and roads and streets. So various commercial and residential applications. And now to our special guests, the speakers. We have Richard Kirk, Canada Sales Manager of ROMEX North America. So Rich brings leadership experience in the growth and expansion of ROMEX across North America. His focus is on strategic partnerships, client education, and community building. This has been pivotal in establishing ROMEX as a trusted brand among contractors and architects. Fun fact, Rich is Scottish. He likes to wear kilts and eat haggis. I'm not sure if that's true. He's a Chelsea fan, don't hold that against him, and is a champion beer mile runner. More about beer later. Rich, say hello.
Thanks, Andy. It's quite the introduction, mate. I think you've got it all covered off there. But no, thanks to everybody that signed up. Super happy to be part of this webinar, and even with a Scottish accent, I hope everybody can understand what we're saying here.
Awesome. And our other panelist, Darcy Carino, he's the marketing coordinator of ROMEX North America. So Darcy specializes in product marketing and content creation for permeable paving and sustainable construction solutions. He is the driving force behind ROMEX's Instagram account, Why We're All Here, which generated over 900 website inquiries in the last 12 months alone. Fun fact, Darcy supports the Canucks, which means he probably supports the Oilers right now too. And his favorite beer is Old Milwaukee. Oh, okay. More on beer again later. It seems to be a recurring theme. Over to you, Darcy. How's it going?
Good. Yeah. Thanks, Andy. Excited to be here and to share some of our marketing strategies with you guys.
Awesome. Okay, let's get on to the agenda for today. So we have some quick intro and housekeeping will take about 5 minutes. We have a little bit of a backstory about ROMEX and North Shore Digital to give you context about our relationship working together. Then we get onto the good stuff. We get a guest presentation where Darcy and Rich will share their Instagram tips and insider secrets, along with results in their playbook. At the end, we will have audience Q&A and a special offer from us. Okay, intro. A few housekeeping notes for the webinar. If you do have a question, please add it in the chat. We will get to them later. We won't answer them as we go along. We'll save them up, we'll review them and ask the best ones. Ira will be running that section, so please address him via the chat. And then we'll also have 3 polls, so a bit of audience engagement, and Sasha will be running those sections. And then, yeah, if we don't get to any of your questions and they're good, we will send you an email to answer the questions. We'll also provide the recording to the webinar to anyone who has registered. Okay, on with the show. Firstly, a little bit about us. We'd like to introduce ourselves. We are landscaper marketing powered by North Shore Digital. Our mission is to help 100 companies grow their revenues, profits, and impact. We recently hit 70 clients from coast to coast, all the way from Victoria, BC to St. John's, Newfoundland. North Shore Digital is our parent company that operates in a few select verticals, and today's webinar comes from our landscaping division. We are a Google Premier Partner. We have an A+ rating on BBB. We're an agency partner of Cloudways and Cloudflare, and we are a member of the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association. Okay. And here are some of the landscapers we help coast to coast. Over a third of the companies we work with are in the green industry, and you can see some of these represented here. A mixture of landscape design, construction, maintenance. They operate in the residential, commercial, and public sectors. Many of them know of ROMEX and work with ROMEX. And a typical client of ours is a landscape company with around 2.5 million in annual revenues, although we have some that are 8 figures and higher and some that are lower. We are the host of the Landscaper Marketing webinar. This is episode 6, and you can find the previous episodes on our YouTube channel or embedded on our website. This is approach to digital marketing, just a quick visual representation. It is the landscaper marketing machine that you can use to mow down your competition. And if you'd like to learn more about this, I'll give you an offer too good to refuse at the end of the webinar. So, ROMEX and North Shore Digital. So that you get a snapshot of our partnership, here are a few slides explaining our history working together. And importantly, we start with beer. I told you it was a recurring theme. So, who says drinking beer doesn't pay? I met Tom, who you can see here wearing a Manchester United tracksuit top, but don't hold that against him. He is the founder of ROMEX North America, and I met him at the Black Kettle Brewery in North Ann around 2015. It took us a couple of years to find out what we actually did for a living, and after that, a fruitful relationship was born. You might recognize this guy at the back as well. Okay. And so here are the fruits of our labor, the ROMEX website, romexhardscapes.com. So in 2018, I started building the ROMEX Canada West website. And then in 2019, the website moved to romexcanada.com to showcase the national focus of ROMEX. This was followed by the launch of ROMEX US in 2021, and subsequently the launch of ROMEX Hardscapes in 2023, which is what you see right before your eyes. Since then, we've brought all 3 of these websites together to represent ROMEX North America, and it has been a huge success. Our mission is to make data make sense, and you will see this represented on the following slides, which Rich will talk you through.
Sure. Well, no, thanks, Andy. Yeah, and since the initial meeting down in Brunei, there's been a ton of hard work and a lot of great results and success since then. So we're super happy to share some of that today. So first of all, we're going to go over just in the next few slides, just some of our engagement and our reach, a lot of which is being driven by our social media activities, but also driving people back to that website, which is, like Andy said, has been under constant development over a number of years. So on this first slide, website engagement here, this is from the month of April. So a very recent like snapshot into our website and the traffic that we've been receiving. So just a couple of things to mention here. Something to bear in mind that ROMEX, we are covering North America, so we have a huge geographical territory, lots of opportunity, from coast to coast in both Canada and the US. So these numbers, they can be, fairly large, but that is just a testament to the territory that we are operating in. So as you can see, form submissions on the left-hand side there, 967 for the month of April. So a form submission for us is when somebody visits our website They fill out our contact us form. It gathers a bunch of information that we need to provide them with a relevant response in the terms of product information, an estimate, like where to buy your product. So it's an information gathering form that people submit via the website, and so like kickstarts the inquiry process. So one thing I would point out there is that 967 inquiries in the space of a month is awesome, and we're super happy with that. But the reality is, guys, that it wasn't so long ago that we thought 30 to 50 website inquiries in a month was a lot, which at the time for us and our team and stuff, it really was. And that was super important to us. And the way that this thing has evolved and leveled up over a pretty short period of time, being on the online growth plan and really putting this dedicated focus into the social media platforms has allowed us to, to reach these kinds of levels fairly quickly. So we certainly didn't start up at, these big numbers, but we kind of worked towards that over a period of time. And with our website inquiries at 967, we are directing a lot of that through our e-commerce platforms and throughout our local dealer network across North America. So the other one figured on this page I would, direct your attention to is the Amazon USA link clicks. So for a month there, over 10,000 clicks directly to Amazon, where people are able to, purchase and access our product. So very much going hand in hand between the submissions and then having a clear, direct pathway to accessing the product.
Cool.
Okay, on, Andy. So brand reach, again, we're looking at the month of April here. A couple of things just to kind of focus on. So at the top, sort of like left of center, the total users for the month, just shy of 67,000. So 67,000 new users or total users, to the website just in a single month there. And that is kind of like supported and backed up by, 47,000 organic clicks. And I think that's really important because we do so much of this work on Instagram and YouTube and these social media platforms, but it is ultimately funneling and directing people back in through the website. So they might have seen one of our, our Instagram ads or seen on YouTube or, came across our material in some form or fashion. And if they're anything like me, they want to do like a deeper dive into some research, it becomes a laptop job. So you put the phone down, you get the laptop out, and then you start to search things up from there. It's a bit old school, but that's how I do it. So 47,000 organic clicks onto our products or keywords in that single month.
Yeah, and I would add, for any local service providers, and you're seeing these numbers and being blown away, don't forget that ROMEX is an international brand. So they cover the US and Canada for all this activity. A typical website might get between 1,000 and 5,000 visits a month for a local service provider. And that's to be expected when you think of population and where your focus is. But this is just an example of how ROMEX has exploded in terms of growth.
Yeah, and then last point on that one, Andy, is the engagement there of over 50% engagement. And that, comes back to the great content that Darcy is consistently producing, which, he's going to tell you guys all about, and that's going to be, more interesting part of the presentation.
Cool.
And then as Andy mentioned, so up until fairly recently, we had a ROMEX Canada website, a ROMEX US website, and we sort of made the timely and strategic decision to combine those websites, and instead of them kind of like each competing against each other for SEO and eyes on the internet, if you will, combine those websites and made one dedicated, really strong North American website. And in doing that, we really didn't foresee the kind of uptick that we've experienced in traffic and SEO engagement and the social media stuff as well. Having that joined up, concise approach where everything looks and feels the same across the continent has been huge for us to the end that, as you'll see in the US in the bottom half of the slide there, sort of like over 300 SEO keywords ranking in the top 3 with just over 1,100 from 4 through 10. So just over 1,400 rankings there across the US. So as the graph shows, there's a huge uptick and a spike there. But what I would say is it's various parts of the machine are at play here, and the Instagram has been a huge driver of that. Certainly like our number one lead generator over a number of years across all the kind of like regions and target markets that we're involved in. But it's really cool to see it kind of like being plugged back into the more full marketing cycle and back in through the website. This is just a snapshot of our segments and countries. And Andy, I'll let you speak a bit more to this one.
So this is obviously it's reflecting the monthly submissions that came through the website, and you can see 4 different pie charts here that represent the type of inquiry that ROMEX is getting, the countries represented, where they're coming from, the project type. And then what we're focused on for today's webinar is the lead source. And it's important to think of lead generation like you would think of an investment strategy. So you don't want to be over-reliant on one single source in case anything happens to that source. ROMEX, as you can see, has a very well diversified number of different lead sources. And you can see this here in this chart. And Meta, so in this case, April, Facebook actually beat Instagram, but you can see Meta, so Facebook and Instagram combined, giving over half the inquiries this month. When it comes to the landscapers we work with, typically about 75% come from Google. So you'll see a very different pie chart depending on your industry and where you get your leads from. But the point behind this webinar is to see if we can help clients and prospective clients and anyone out there with diversification and the creation of new lead sources.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, I'll kick things off with the first couple of slides then and hand over to Darcy. Okay, so the agenda, guys, this is obviously what we're going to be covering in this session. Hopefully, it sparks a few thoughts for you guys and lots of times for questions at the end, which we'll be more than happy to answer there. So we're going to share a little bit about what we've learned over the years, learning stuff all the time. We were just talking to Darcy yesterday about how we're going to tweak and adjust our strategy for the second 6 months of the year based on what we learned in the first half. So that is, an ever-evolving process there. Best practices that we've learned throughout that time. Hopefully share some helpful resources for you guys that you can sort of take right away from today and then start to implement right into your business kind of right away. Creating content, that's, the biggest one and probably why a lot of you guys have signed up for this course today is around creating content, effective content, content that gets lots of eyes on your products or your services or your businesses. Growing your accounts, everybody's, striving for more followers, more engagement. It's a pretty noisy place on these social media channels. So how can you separate your content from everybody else's and stop people scrolling just for those few seconds to listen or watch what you have to say? And then generating leads. So it's great doing all this social media stuff and being super active on Instagram, but obviously the main goal is to generate leads, increase revenue, and build business from there. So just quick one on the ROMEX story and what we've seen. So basically, quality leads from homeowners, contractors, and landscape architects. And like I said, Instagram being the massive driver there, the quality of the leads is something that we've been super impressed with. Not a lot of spam or time wasters or stuff that just isn't relevant. It's really been super high quality and definitely worth the time and the effort and the ad spend and all that kind of stuff. Increasing e-commerce sales growth. This has been huge for us. We've already met and exceeded our e-commerce target for this year. And we're only just a little way, a little over halfway through the year. So constantly readjusting those goals. It's, we always say in ROMEX, it's a great problem to have. We keep stocking out of certain products on e-commerce platforms and just we're in that stage of trying to keep up with the demand and forecasting production and that kind of stuff. And it really all stems from our marketing strategy and on our Instagram being a huge part of that. Increased revenue as a company, our overall revenue has been up 30% year over year since 2023. And that's, again, hugely down to the brand awareness and the engagement of our product line. I can't tell you how many times as a salesperson I'm out in the field and people tell me all the time, I keep seeing your stuff everywhere. I saw it here, I saw it there, and I saw that video. And just that consistency, which is one of Darcy's main themes to talk about, really does go a long way. And it's not always about the number of views or whatever. People can sort of sleep on stuff for a little bit as well. And they might watch something and then it comes back around again a little bit further down the line. So just being consistent with that brand awareness is definitely something that we've seen and we've learned a little bit about, and just having people out in the industry talking about our content and products, hopefully in a positive way. At least we think they are. It's kind of what it's all about. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Darcy for the rest of the ROMEX section presentation.
Thanks, Richard. Okay, let's get into it here, starting with profile setup. Setting up your profile the right way is the first and probably most important step to make sure you come across as a professional brand and are able to direct people to the right place by using a relevant call to action. Some of this may seem obvious, but I see accounts all the time that forget at least a couple important things. On the right, I used a screenshot of Inside Out Design. It's a landscaping construction company. It's a good example of what works well. If you take a look, they have their logo as their profile picture, clear bio explaining the services that they offer, the location they operate in, as well as call to action, directing the customer to where they want them. In this case, that's their website. But yeah, so overall, this layout is pretty simple and clear. And I would recommend using this format, or at least like adding in all these things if you're missing any. Okay. Setting up a bio. So the link you put in your bio depends on your needs and where you want to direct your customers. You may not like even want to include one, just have like send us a message call to action instead. But if you have a website and a form set up to convert leads, that's probably best. For us, we use a link in bio tool by Wix. There's many of these. We decided to use Wix because of how customizable and organized it is, with drop downs and social links, etc. This helps like the customer like better navigate to exactly like what they're looking for. It's essentially like a mini website directory, making sure like everyone ends up in the right place. This works for us because we have a lot of web pages and beneficial like resources, but you really just need to find a solution that like works for you, and linking your website or contact form directly may be your best option. Highlights. Highlights are essentially stories that you pin to your profile and stay forever instead of ending after 24 hours. Not the most important content to have, but making the icons like visually appealing and consistent helps like establish your company's like identity and come across as more professional. When setting these up, I would recommend selecting like between 4 and 5 topics, kind of like the ones shown here. I always include reviews, product lines, memes, products, and free training, but I put some other good examples below. Yeah, the current project you're working on, different designs and builds, specific product installs, and blogs and features. Yeah, it's a good, a little bit more to say. Yeah, it's a good opportunity, similar to like the bio links, where you can like link these to different places, like the project page of your site, or asking people to leave like a Google review. In terms of like designing these icons, I created all these on a platform called Canva, which like a lot of like free pre-made icons are on there that you can use. Alternatively, you can use ChatGPT or other AI image generating tools to create these for you, but more on that later. Basically, you just want to make these look nice and match your brand and showcase a little bit about what you do. Content execution. When it comes to creating content, it's important to create a consistent posting schedule. This not only helps you figure out what works and what doesn't, but Instagram also rewards you for it, and you'll start to see more engagement over time. I would suggest posting at least 3 times a week, and try to prioritize videos if possible, as they just do much better than images. Yeah, some things that we have found for us are like keeping reels under 20 seconds long. We've been using kind of like ASMR, kind of like oddly satisfying content without music a lot recently. And yeah, just avoid using like images within your reels instead of making it kind of look like a slideshow.
Yeah, I think I'll just chime in on that one as well, Darcy. I think that's probably the biggest lesson that we've learned over especially the past 2 years is on the content specifically. With our products being in the landscape construction industry, permeable grout embedding products for all kinds of hardscapes, we were often caught in the trap a little bit of trying to show absolutely everything from a job site or start to finish of the installation of one of these products. And it did a few things. It obviously made it much harder to consistently produce that level of content. We needed a lot more content. It took more time to edit videos, a lot more time to produce these things, which ultimately meant it was one of those things where, we don't have time to do it. We're busy doing other things. And the frequency of content kind of falls off a little bit from there. So we started to play around and just experiment with what really we found to be the most exciting parts of our particular product. And what it allowed us to do was make it much easier for us to post content, because instead of it being 4, 5, 6, 7 clips all put together in this beautifully produced video, it really kind of boiled down to maybe 1 or 2 clips, anywhere from like 5 to 7 seconds. Darcy mentioned under 20 seconds there, but the reality is that most of our best performing content has been really short, really simple. It's just a quick snapshot of our products are really cool because they're applied almost like a liquid slurry. So they're very dynamic and they're moving and they're water permeable. So once they're cured, water can pass through. So it's those little interesting like snapshots that grabs people's attention. And just for a few seconds, it perks their interest in our product. They're like, oh, what's that doing? Or that probably shouldn't do that, but it is. And it just gets them to, to dig a little bit deeper and kind of go from there. So the content is always going to be the number one thing, but really I would encourage everybody on the call just to look at their own business, the product or service, and really break it down into nice, small, kind of like bite-sized chunks. And that way it seems a lot more manageable. You'll be able to post a lot more frequently. And it's just getting those real kind of like highlights out to people without putting that kind of like really strong burden on yourselves to consistently producing like videography level content for Instagram, which is great and has its own place in certain situations. But a lot of the success that we have seen have been much more on the shorter side, which has really, really simplified the process for us and been a huge sort of like winning strategy in our process.
Moving on to providing value. Providing value is basically making content that people want to watch, like regardless of their interest in your products or services. Like if you check out our Instagram, you'll see like most of our content, like Richard was talking about, is showing the installation process of our products. Like these videos tend to do well because people like to see like the process of something being built or made or restored. The better it resonates with everyone, likely the more views and engagement it will receive. And then once it reaches a larger audience, we start to see more comments and messages showing interest in the products themselves. And yeah, some other content examples that you could try are just creating educational posts, before and afters, project highlights of whatever you're working on, and just solutions to customers' pain points too. Yeah, stories. This is another one I would say isn't super important, but it's good to stay like active on here when you can. For us, we have it like a little easier because people are quite often like tagging us in content that we can repost. But we also make sure to share all of our own posts as well and include relevant links like to a product page or blog when we can. Yeah, just a short, simple video explaining what you're doing on or what you're working on that day, or a picture of just kind of like anything going on really. But yeah, overall the goal here is just to kind of stay on top of people's minds, even if they're not like seeing your content in their feed, just another way to reach them. Yeah, on the right here, I just put a little example of one of our stories that we shared of just like posting our post to the story. And then we just linked one of our products. So then you're watching, you just tap on the link and you end up on the product page.
Yeah, now when you say with that one, Darcy, I think that's probably the area that we're not always looking into too specifically for how many views our story got or who watched it, any of that kind of stuff. It's that kind of like low-hanging fruit content that our sales reps on job sites or our contractors using our products can kind of put out there. And as Darcy said, it's that just that general buzz of staying top of mind with something that's fairly quick and easy and simple to do. Somebody watched it and then a few days later they see something else from ROMEX and something else from ROMEX, and having those, non-advertisement, more educational, like type content hitting them every few days, I think is part of the thing that's worked for us versus putting, I guess, again, too much kind of like thought and emphasis onto creating this, multi-post story over the course of a full job site.
Advertising. Yeah, this is an important one. Not necessarily like spending money, but the way you share information in your content. The number one thing is providing value and producing content people want to watch without making it ad focused. But it's important to include information in your captions that help interested customers understand like what you are offering. So like similar to your profiles, you want to always share your services and where you are located, as well as adding in that call to action to direct customers to where you would like them. We always say something like, click the link on our profile to learn more in our captions. But yeah, another way of advertising on Instagram, but definitely not necessary, is boosting your posts and putting some money behind them. On the right is a screenshot of the ad screen on Instagram. I put an example of $49 spend over 1 week and the estimated return is around 8,000 to 21,000 views. So that's just another option if you have some extra money to spend and want to increase your visibility. Yeah, top performing ROMEX reels. Here are some screenshots of those. The main thing that they all have in common is that they're all jointing videos. Yeah, so through our consistent like posting schedule and trial and error, this is something we discovered over the last couple of years that works really well with our audience. We definitely still post other types of videos to show some variety in our products. We try to prioritize content like this because it's proved to do well. But yeah, if you're installing jointing products and you're in landscaping as your business, we'd recommend you give this a shot and post just some clips of you pushing in the mortar into the joints. But yeah, it's still very important to like find what works for you. Captions. Yeah, this expands a bit more on what I mentioned on the advertising slide. You want to mention what and why you are doing it, explain the problems you're solving and benefits your services offer, essentially. And then kind of just end with a call to action. It's kind of keeping it simple. But yeah, I put together an example on the right here. It's, yeah, like I said, pretty simple, but still explains like everything the customer needs to know to kind of pique some interest there. And then, yeah, I also added in some hashtags at the bottom. They're not super relevant anymore because most people are not really searching for hashtags in 2025, and they see content tailored to their interest just by scrolling through Reels nowadays. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to add them in. Utilizing AI. AI can be, yeah, super useful, especially when first starting out and like generating ideas or icons. It's also a good way to get things done more efficiently if you don't have the time to spend on something. The first way you can use it is to generate like logos or icons for your profile picture and like highlights, like we kind of talked about before, profile setup. Another way is creating captions for your post. I use this quite a bit when I first started with ROMEX because I didn't know much about hardscapes or our products at the time. So you could even input the list of things I mentioned to add in your caption and ask it to create one for you within that format. And yeah, it's also a great way to help you brainstorm content ideas. You can see my prompt on the right there and some of the ideas it gave me, specifically for a landscape company. I would suggest like kind of just messing around with testing different prompts to get started. I often find the more like detailed you are when talking to AI, the better the results are. So yeah, don't be afraid to lean on it for help at times, or at least just try it out if you haven't yet. Yeah, building a community. Instagram rewards engagement and connecting with people on the app can be a great way, can help build more of a loyal following who can then interact with your content more. This is one of the more like time-consuming tasks, but I outlined some of the more like simple things you can do there. Just making sure you respond to comments and messages, tag people or companies involved in your projects when relevant, remix or repost reels from others that involve your work, and yeah, encouraging people in the comments to follow and view your call to action.
Yeah, just on that one on the community, we've played around with, other influencers and that kind of stuff as well. And those have been successful for us, whether it's, giving a little bit of free product away for, a homeowner with a solid Instagram platform to, produce a little bit of content about the installation of a product. And that's sort of obviously that third party verification of it coming from somebody else with the educational benefits of the video has been great for us. We've had a couple of reels lately, a bits of content lately from those types of programs that have worked really well, and again seem to have given another boost to the engagement and the community aspect of our stuff.
Yeah, we covered a lot of stuff today, but yeah, just to sum up everything before we get into the Q&A, make sure to optimize your profile, take short video clips of whatever it is you're doing, or just one shorter clip, post consistently, at least 3 times per week. Try things and evaluate what works and what doesn't. Utilize AI for help. Give it a go if you never tried it, or lean on it when you need to. And yeah, try to maintain brand consistency. I also dropped our QR code to our Instagram. So if you're interested, you can follow us. And yeah, if you are ever using our products in one of your videos, we'll make sure to share it on our story.
Awesome. I just got to unmute myself there. blown away by this presentation, and I'm so impressed by your Instagram playbook and the results you've had from it. Getting 22 million views for one of your reels. Wow. And yeah, just to recap there, I think for our landscapers who are on the call, really setting things up for success. So making sure your foundations are right, and then exploring content that you can use for reels that are really catchy and viewable. And they're not overproduced and kind of easy to put into a production schedule. And then you've got to test them. And then when you've got something that's working, you've got to run campaigns. You could boost them to get more views. And then really this more awareness, the more engagement you have can then be led to more inquiries if you set things up like the tool from Wix. And I think that playbook you can explore and try and adapt it for your own needs and your own business, as Chid and Darcy were explaining. You might not get reels with 22 million views, but you might start getting a new lead generation source, which is what this is about, the diversification of lead generation sources.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to start throwing some questions at the panel here. I have a feeling these are going to be a lot of Darcy-related questions, just kind of looking through them. So I'll select 3 or 4 here. So the first, when you first started using Instagram seriously, what was your goal? Awareness, leads, or something else? And then kind of a follow-up in the same question, did you follow any specific strategy at the beginning, or was it more just trial and error?
I guess it was more trial and error and just kind of posting consistently and then just kind of, figuring out what works from there. I'd say we were focusing on, everything in general, but it quickly became about leads. Like once we started seeing them come through, then we heavily prioritized it. And now we're actually getting like a lot that we're trying to curve it a little bit and work on directing customers to the right spots on the website as opposed to contacting us, because the amount we're getting is pretty crazy lately.
And not the worst problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Just chime in there. I think our stuff's always going to be educational focused. Like even our website is designed to educate people on our products kind of when they land there. There's not too much around the actual promotion of it. I think a big thing for us was we're showing people how easy our products are to use, which would then in turn solve a pretty typical pain point or challenge that our regular homeowners and contractors were having. So in addition to like showing how easy or fun essentially it was to install, and then the performance benefits and also that permeability element, like the water passing through permeable joint sand is always something that's going to catch people's eye. It does online, it does every trade show I go to, every lunch and learn to any architect. The first thing I do is, the water pour through permeability thing. It's the one thing that really kind of grabs people's attention. And I think that's where the strategy ultimately kind of led to, was those two things, was like the reassurance that, hey, our stuff is really cool. It is very easy to install to a level where it is like DIY friendly. And it also does this thing that you also wouldn't expect, or is kind of like hard to wrap your brain around until you actually see it happening in person. So that really allowed us to streamline the content. And it was from that point through the initial, like Darcy's trial and error, I would say, over your first 6 months with the company, just putting that stuff out there, seeing kind of what stuck, and then just kind of like refining it month over month and post over post to the point now where, we could post stuff online on Instagram and YouTube and with some level of confidence and certainty that we're going to hit, a certain number in terms of like the engagement and the views. And ultimately that all comes back to getting those leads. It's going to be a byproduct of that type of content, but it's always going to start with the content. Content's going to be king, I think, in any of this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And you're trying to finesse kind of a line between making it appealing and entertaining and having that educational component. So you guys have done an incredible job with that. The next question, how important do you think photo and video quality is? Is it more about the type of content or the production quality?
Both are important, definitely. Yeah, I guess it's hard to say which is better, because if you're posting like an awesome video, but like you can't really see what's going on because the quality's not there, then it's probably not going to do that well. And then if it's vice versa, probably the same. So I would say, yeah, focus on both. But I guess the easier one is just making sure you're capturing quality shots first, and then the type of content will come.
Darcy,
Awesome.
can you confirm what you use to shoot the videos in terms of tech?
We usually don't use anything fancy. I'm rarely on site to capture the footage myself. It's normally coming from either landscapers who are installing our products, and they send us the footage, or they post on Instagram, and I download it and I repost it, and then I normally will chop up their video a little bit and make it our own a little bit there. Or we'll have different sales reps send us content as well, like when they are on site. But yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of capturing the actual footage, this seems like something that isn't too cost intensive and very doable for, landscapers. They could just have their, team out there that's already on site or on the job shooting, and then sending it through, and then kind of the magic's in the editing and figuring that out.
Exactly, yeah. And only really like 4 to 5 clips of the install, and then just shorten it down to under 20 seconds, or just like one little aspect of the install. Just try a bunch of things, see how it works. But yeah, you don't have to make it another full-time job on top of landscaping.
So
Yeah, only I'd say a very small percentage of our content or our videos have been professionally shot or using, any kind of high-tech camera. It's probably, I don't know, Darcy, but like 98% of stuff posted on the Instagram or YouTube in the last 2 years has been shot on iPhone or smartphone.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think the only thing that we'd bought was the little microphones that clip on, and we sort of played around with that a little bit. Those weren't very expensive, probably like $50 off Amazon or something like that, just to try and clear up the audio, obviously on potentially noisy job sites. So we played around a little bit with that, but for the most part, yeah, it's all pretty low cost and fairly straightforward. And yeah, like Darcy said, it's more so just about that type of shot and how good the phone cameras are these days. The quality is usually there, and unless somebody's pointing at the sky or pointing at the ground or doing something weird, it's usually been okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Throw another question at you here. There's two people kind of ask a similar question, and there was a section in if anybody goes back and listens to the recording where you showed some of the most popular reels, so that might answer part of this. But just to ask again, what types of posts performed the best for driving actual inquiries? Another person asked a similar question. Was there a specific post that really blew up and caused a noticeable spike in inquiries?
Yeah, it's mostly just jointing videos. Like, we have other videos that do well and blow up, I guess, a little bit as well. But when you're hitting like the millions of views mark, like I would say, yeah, 95% of them have been jointing videos, at least for us. So yeah, that's just kind of something that we determined like that worked after posting a few different clips and just seeing that, and seeing specifically like flagstone jobs as well doing very well. But overall, just like jointing content for us, that definitely has the highest ceiling.
And do you have a theory? I know you'd mentioned before it has kind of this ASMR quality a bit. It's very soothing. Is that kind of the theory as to why those do quite well? Is it because you just primarily post those and they're just bound to come from that? Or what's kind of the theory there on why those might be getting millions of views?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The ASMR type stuff like might like pull you in like a little bit more, but like we have posted ones in music that also do well. I think it just comes down to people wanting, or people like it just satisfying to see like the jointing like go into the joints. And I think there's a lot of homeowners out there as well that have, an old flagstone patio that they want renovated, and then they see some weird jointing material going into some flagstone, and they're like, "What's that?" They read the caption, and they're like, "Oh, mine, is falling apart. It's failing because of A, B, and C." And then they're more interested after that.
Okay. How are we doing on time, Andrew? Do I have any more questions here? Or
Ira, you have a Q&A section on that. There's 2 questions there for you.
Yeah. I'm just asking, do we have any more time here, Andrew? I just noticed it's 3 minutes.
Yeah, we have a couple of minutes. Yeah, if you want to read any other questions.
Great. All right, another one here. How long did it take to see growth when you started posting 3 times a week? How long for leads?
I think the first like video that like, I mean, we kind of started seeing growth immediately, but like the first time we like felt like a video had like, I guess blown up, like for us, it was, I think like 250,000 views. And we were like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Was probably 5 months in, 5 or 6, I would say, to starting that. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any resources for making reels?
Yeah, I mostly use Canva. It can be like a little shaky with like videos, like if they're going to be longer. If it's going to be like 30 seconds or under, it's pretty good. But sometimes it can be like just a little slow and laggy if you're going to be doing like longer videos for other stuff. But yeah, in terms of like any real like social media like content creation, Canva's great. I used to use Photoshop all the time, and now Canva's completely took over for like 95% of the things I do. Even for like designing web pages and other stuff. So yeah, I can't recommend Canva more. Or yeah, it's great.
Great.
Just quickly, I think
Yeah.
my point. I think one thing that we learned, Darcy, you said about 5 to 6 months between like seeing that initial spike. Obviously, when we were testing things, we as a company, we generally used to fall into the trap of like trying to post all of our products. ROMEX has 12 to 14 products, lots of different applications and solutions. And we would always try and post a little bit of everything. So maybe within your own businesses, it's initially to get the eyeballs, it's less so about telling them about all of your products and solutions and everything that you can do. And don't then be afraid to kind of like post the same stuff again and again, like the same type of content, like different job sites. Yeah, for sure. But we post a lot of the same stuff pretty consistently, which is something that we probably wouldn't have done 2 years ago because we wanted to have a bit more of like a general spread. And when we kind of like refined and condensed it down to 1 or 2 products in 1 or 2 types of applications, like the flag storing application, that's really where we start to see a huge spike in activity. So getting away from thinking, oh, I posted that last week, I can't post something similar again. You absolutely can do if it works for you. And that repetition and consistency actually did really work for us.
Just a follow up on the Canva for the reels, can you use a paid version or can you use the free version, or do you have to use a paid version for a lot of the stuff that you do, Darcy?
Canva has a pretty decent like I guess like first tier, free tier, where you can do like quite a lot of things, and there's still like a lot of resources that and like icons and graphics and images that you can use for free. Yeah, it just it does start to get a little frustrating if you're using the free version like often, and then you're like, oh, I want this icon, but it's premium. I want to use this, but it's premium, or different like exporting features and whatnot. But yeah, I would try the free version at first because there is quite a lot you can do with it. And then I believe it's like $130 Canadian for the year, maybe 150. It's around that range. It's not like crazy for the entire year if you wanted to pay for the paid version.
Yeah, it's well worth the paid version for the extra icons and graphics and everything that you get access to.
Exactly.
Where it can get expensive is if you're adding lots of team members, because it's per team member. But yeah, totally recommend getting the paid version.
All right, another one. Do you normally use a lot of hashtags? Do you ever not put in any hashtags?
If they're not in there, it's because I just kind of forgot to put them in, but it's also because we're not really too concerned about them. I don't think it's really driving too much engagement or anything like that. I normally just reuse the same ones that are kind of like, I guess, big hashtags in the landscape industry, or like renovations or whatever. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be super concerned about your hashtag usage. I would say just do it anyways, because why not? But it's not going to hurt, but it's not super beneficial either.
Yeah, maybe just have a standard list that you copy and paste in there. It takes kind of 5 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I would say don't use too many hashtags, probably no more than like 6.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Great. I'll just do one more here. How did you make it easy for people to go from seeing a post on Instagram to actually contacting you or submitting an inquiry?
Well, yeah, we have like the hot bio by Wix in our profile. And then basically within our captions, we are constantly encouraging people to click the profile in our bio. So if they read that, they go to our profile, hopefully they follow. But if not, they are still, being directed to click the link there. And then that whole hop directory pops up that, links people to either Amazon account or most of it just different pages on the website, like products or our interactive like dealer map showing you all the dealers you can purchase our products at and stuff like that.
Great. I'll throw it back to you, Andrew.
Cool. All right, we'll wrap things up with the final section, which includes a special offer to registrants. This webinar has all been about ROMEX, but we're going to nudge our way in there a little bit, or barge our way in. So the Landscaper Marketing Program. So for all you landscaping companies out there, there are 3 main reasons why landscapers work with us. Number 1, they need more or better leads. Number 2, you're not sure what results you're getting from online. And then number 3, you need a guide for digital marketing. As you can see, digital marketing is very sophisticated. All the different channels and platforms now require lots of specific expertise and skills. And so that's what we're here for. We're a team of skilled individuals that represent all the different departments of digital marketing. And so we're here to guide you throughout your journey in digital marketing. We have the Landscaper Marketing Program. So it's been tested and refined since December 2019. It is holistic. It contains everything you need to focus and grow your own marketing and lead generation machine, from monthly consultations to custom reporting, lead qualification, ROI, advertising, SEO, website content, analytics, website maintenance, and managed hosting. It is a full package. We do have add-ons for organic and paid social for the people who are asking about outsourcing Instagram. But yeah, if you want to connect with me for a complimentary consultation, here is my special offer to you. Go to this link, nsdig.ca/ROMEX, and basically enter in your details, and I'll reach out for a complimentary consultation to see, it's no strings attached, to see if there's any major recommendations on how we could help you or what you should focus on with your digital marketing to improve your business. And basically, there's 3 simple steps for working with us. 1 is to book a discovery call. 2 is to get an online growth plan. And then 3 is to pick a date to start onboarding. And the final slide, we've arrived. Okay. Thanks everyone for your participation today and attention. The main point of this slide is actually ROMEX. So you can see here how to connect with them. You can go to their website. On Instagram, they are ROMEX Hardscapes. Please follow them and take tips and study what they're doing there and try and create your own playbook. Again, thanks again to everyone who showed up here, the North Shore Digital team, and especially Darcy and Richard from ROMEX. We've loved having you, and thanks so much for all the amazing and tips you've given us on Instagram.
Thanks so much, Andy. Yeah, thanks everybody that attended. It's been a pleasure, and maybe see you on the next one.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.